Why not trade back in the first round? That's the question you need to ask yourself as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and what that would mean for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2024 draft. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Why not? Why not trade back in the first round? Because this is a wide receiver deep draft. There's some cornerbacks that you could possibly catch a little bit later. There's some tackles that you could possibly catch later. The center position that's a desperate need for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you could possibly get later in the first round, early in the second round if you're aiming at one of the top prospects. So why not? Why not increase your draft capital and trade back? Trade back maybe to as maybe late as 30. I think that could be a possibility for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why not trade back even a little bit further? If you're eyeing a guy like Zach Frazier, that's potentially not going to go in the first round. So, hey, why not? JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson, probably will be gone by the end of the first round. But however, Zach Frazier, a quality candidate, could still be there. What about a Graham Barton? Could he still be there? There are several options. And I know, yes, the right tackle position is a position of need that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been eyeing all offseason. But maybe not. Maybe they haven't been. Maybe that's just more manufactured by us, the fans. Maybe they are really confident in Dan Moore Jr. remaining a Pittsburgh Steeler, remaining at the left tackle spot, or perhaps maybe trying to transition over to right tackle and moving Broderick back to the left. There are options, guys, for your Pittsburgh Steelers, as I've preached all offseason so far. Omar Khan is not a guy that has painted himself into a corner. So this gives the Pittsburgh Steelers those options, those elite options that they can do whatever they kind of want to do. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you potentially trade back, what if you get a second rounder this year? You know, what if you add to that and now have 2 second round picks to work with, 2 third round picks to work with? What about those situations and really load up in rounds 2 and 3? What if that is the case? What if that is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are really eyeing here? And it's starting to seem like that may be the right move. I know a lot of people were sitting there saying, hey, maybe trade up and get a Talise Fuaga. And I thought maybe that could be a possibility also. Some Steelers insiders think that that's a good thing to do too. But why do that? Why burn draft capital when you can gain draft capital and still get quality players? This is a wide receiver rich draft, guys, and there are tons of wide receivers in it. And to where you could probably get a guy in the second round that is really, really good, especially if you have 2 second round picks to work with. That is a real possibility. What if you get something, though, a king's ransom for this? You know, what if you trade with somebody like a Washington Commanders? I've heard this rumor out there to where, you know, you could get pick 36 and pick 40 if you trade out of the 20 hole, and maybe get 2 of those quality picks right there at the end of the first, right there at the beginning of the first or second round. Really just big time move, in my opinion. And I think you could still get quality people at those positions, quality players that are going to contribute. If you really try to do that, try to trade back, I think that you could really bolster this roster for the 2024 season with players that are going to immediately contribute early and often. Maybe this is the move, guys, and maybe this is the one that makes the most sense, trading back. Why not trade back? That is the real question we need to ask ourselves, as opposed to trying to figure out all these situations to maybe go up and grab the biggest name out there. I know that that's the fun thing to do. That's what we want to do. We want to see those big splash moves. But if you're building a roster and you're trying to make it a well-rounded roster, why not get as much talent as humanly possible inside of this draft? Why limit yourself? Why not take a chance and trade back? Because I think that there are enough quality players in this draft that it would not hurt you. That it would not hurt the Pittsburgh Steelers to go out and do this move. Or any move that would require them trading back. It's not have to be the Commanders. I know that's a far-fetched deal. That's a lot. That's a king's ransom for the 20th overall pick. But you know, some of these teams have been known to do some stupid things, do some things that don't make any sense. But the Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves in a good situation here, and I know that there are needs on this football team. You need another wide receiver. You need a tackle. You need a center. You could use some players in other positions. However, There is no super desperate need in my eyes other than center. And I still think that you could get the center you want in Zach Frazier, whom I think that's the one the Steelers are the most interested in. I think you could still get him early in round two. I really think that. I don't think he's going to go in round one. The only center I think could go in round one, and I think it'll be after pick 25, and that's Jackson Powers Johnson. That's just what I'm thinking right now as we rapidly approach the NFL draft, guys. It's quickly approaching. And the Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves in a little bit of a good situation, if you ask me. And I know that a lot of people really want them to do these splash moves, guys. I know that. But we have to really focus on what reality is. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you're trying to build a quality roster, make this move. Trade back. I think that that's exactly what you need to do. And I don't think the question is why. I think it's with who. Now that we get through this show as we're talking about it, I think the more I think about it, I'm thinking that the Pittsburgh Steelers need to figure out with whom they make this trade with, who they figure out a deal with, who's going to give them the most for the number 20 overall pick. And honestly, I think that those deals are already behind the scenes getting looked at, being talked about. And I think that there are teams out there that are desperate enough to get players that they want and maybe value players way more than the Pittsburgh Steelers might value them and are willing to separate with some draft capital. And I think it could be really beneficial to the Steelers. Yes, they traded up last year to grab Broderick Jones. I thought that was a good move. So they get Broderick Jones, a guy that's going to be a bookend on the offensive line no matter which side he plays, a guy that's going to be able to continue to grow. They had that pick from the Miami Dolphins that ended up turning into a from the Chicago Bears that ended up turning into the second round, first pick in the second round, which would have been the back end of the first round in other years. But hey, they turned that into Joey Porter Jr. So you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers now and you saw what Omar Khan was able to do in 2023. Why not trust in Omar to make a move like that, trading back? Why not trust in him? Why not really look at what his track record was last year and say, man, I think he knows what he's doing here, and I think I'm going to trust this move and trading back several picks. I would say trade back as far as you can, in my eyes, to get the most that you can. Maybe you get a second and third in this year's draft, maybe something crazy like that. That would be cool. Who knows? But if you're loading up on second and third round picks, I really think that you could do some damage in this draft. You could really collect a high amount of quality players. And honestly, the Steelers would be coming out of this draft looking like geniuses. Omar Khan would look like a genius. Andy Weidel looking like a genius. Those guys would really come out of here benefiting in a big way in my eyes. I just think now that we've gotten closer to this draft, I think the thing that makes the most sense, the absolute most sense, is trading back, guys. And I know we've talked about all the scenarios of trading up. I get that. But the more I think about this, it is just clear cut to me that trading back would be the absolute best move. It would give you the most options. It would give you the most amount of talent heading into 2024. Young talent, young, fresh legs, young guys that maybe fit that Steeler mold to really build that locker room back up again into an exciting place to be. A big time will to want to win, man. A mix of good, young guys with solid veterans that are already in place. I think that this could really pan out to be something special for your Pittsburgh Steelers heading into 2024. So we'll wrap this up here on a Tuesday. Don't forget our live show tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I wanted to talk about that and talk about the possibility of the Pittsburgh Steelers trading back and why it makes the most sense in my eyes. Why I think it fits the Pittsburgh Steelers the best right now here in the 2024 offseason and what they've done so far in free agency and what they need to continue to do inside of the draft and where I think they could gain the most value, the highest amount of picks, the highest amount of quality. So again, guys, join us tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Steel City Live. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, everything like that. That really helps out the channel, and I appreciate it as we march toward our goal of 5,000 subscribers before summertime hits. So we got to get busy here. We're almost there, so let's get cranking, guys. So until next time, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.